you for inviting me today. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. My name is Jamey Gordon. I do have a slide that I want to talk to you about my work experience. I am a part-time professor at the Schulich School of Business. Oh, here we go. If you guys don't mind, let's go to the next slide. And when we get there, when we get to the next slide, and this is so perfect. Thank you so much. I can see it over there now. So I was invited today. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys. So I was invited today to talk to you a little bit about cross-cultural exchange. So in terms of the agenda, I'm going to go through a couple of introductions. I'm going to talk a little bit about the international programs and development opportunities that are available at the Schulich School of Business. And then I was asked some really interesting questions about how you can promote cross-cultural exchange. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Am I okay? Can everyone hear me? I think I'm going to hide behind the podium. It's perfect. It's perfect. Thank you. So that's the agenda for today. So a little bit about me. I was not always in education. I started my career in consumer packaged goods and marketing. I worked in brand management positions at Colgate-Palmolive, at the Clorox Company, at Ferrero. When I talk about my work experience, nobody gets more excited about my work experience than the fact that I managed Ferrero Rocher and Kinder Surprise for about 3.5 years. So for those of you who love Kinder Surprise, anybody out there? Okay. If you see you're the target market. So if you love the new toys that are buildable and fun, that was me. But if you didn't notice the 20% higher pricing, that was also me. Because people will pay for better toys. So that was one of the things that we did while I was there. I then moved over to Mars, where I worked as the marketing lead for the pet specialty division of Mars for about 3.5 years. And then I transitioned my career into consulting. So I worked mostly in the United States in consulting with PwC and Strategy and working on consumer packaged goods strategy. So what I do today is two different things. I own a company called the Looking Glass Group, which focuses on e-commerce consulting and advisory. It's not the reason I'm here today, but that is a good chunk of what I do. What I am here to talk to you about today is my work with the Schulich School of Business. So I am one of the top 10 instructors in the MBA program at the Schulich School of Business, and as a school, we are tremendously focused on international development, international exchange, and cross-cultural collaboration. And so, let's see if the better with the academics than the technology. Here we go, one sec. Okay, so we have two classifications of program at the Schulich School of Business. We have undergraduate programs and we have graduate programs. So in the moment, I'm going to focus a little bit on our undergraduate program. So we have in our focus on international development and international context at this particular business school, we have a couple of different opportunities. We have 63 partner schools. We have 100 in 2017 and 2018, and the numbers continue today after the pandemic. There are over 170 students who participate in international exchanges at the business school. We have during that time, on average, 16 students visit 16 different cities on exchange, and we have a Future Leaders Global program, and where our students have an opportunity to go to international to participate in international exchange and work with top universities in multiple different countries to grow their international expertise. There we go. And then we have a similar type of program with our graduate programs. We have 53 partner schools we had 21 exchange participants in 2022 and 2023. That number is down a little bit from previous years because things are recovering from the pandemic. We have 32 graduate study tour participants in 2023, and we have a global immersive option, which is, we have something at the Schulich School of Business called the 601. Has anyone had the great opportunity to participate in this? Excellent. So we have, it is either the best part of your Schulich experience or the most memorable part of your Schulich experience. It's a comprehensive strategic study where you have to work with an organization to develop their strategy, explore what their strategic options are, and support their, and recommend what their next steps should be. This is done on a global level with this particular program, where people from all different walks of life and all different countries have an opportunity to do this type of project for an organization in another country. It's a fantastic learning opportunity for everybody, because as everybody knows, the world is becoming more cross-cultural. Globalization continues, and technology is really enabling that journey. So that's a little bit about the school. But I wasn't invited here necessarily to tell you about the school. I was invited to talk to you about 3 thoughts on how we can leverage technology to grow this particular trend. Oop, that is the wrong way. Sorry, guys. Okay. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is leveraging new technology to improve to grow international work opportunities. How many of you are familiar? So how many of you are familiar with Zoom? Okay, excellent. It's a loaded question sometimes with Zoom, because we all learned about it during the pandemic. How many of you are familiar with Loom? Okay, so we've got one person in this room, or 2 people in this room who are familiar with Loom. Loom is, so these 2 tools enable work to be done anywhere. For young people who are pursuing education and are pursuing international opportunities, whether they are in Canada looking for opportunities elsewhere, or they are elsewhere looking for opportunities in Canada, these tools allow a level of collaboration that has never been seen. From a learning perspective and from an asynchronous perspective, these are tools that you can use to help your employees, your contractors, your mentees, your interns in other countries, and really help them learn how to do other work. The way Loom works is that you can record yourself doing anything. Whether you are doing a complicated data pull, or you are doing mathematical equations, or you are writing any type of, preparing any type of marketing material, anybody can watch what you do on Loom. If you have a student who isn't sure what to do, you can do a 5-minute example, record yourself doing it, and send it to that student. If that student still does not understand, you can ask that student to send you a Loom of the way they're doing it, and asynchronously view what the challenges are, and use that as an opportunity with a Loom to explain to them how to do it differently. This enables the type of training that we have been relying on offices for. How many of you have had, let's see, how many of you have had a meeting this week? That's it? Only 2 people? We got lots of people. I'm sure lots of us have been in meetings all week long. Loom eliminates the need for about 75% of your meetings. It eliminates the need to be in the same time zone. It eliminates the inability for people it eliminates a number of the communication challenges that we often have with junior people learning how to do new work, because you get to show them and they get to show you, which is what we do in meetings all the time. So that's one way to improve our cross-cultural exchange capability. The second, is to make is to change the way that we develop content. One of the challenges historically for working cross-culturally and across different borders has been content development. Language has gotten in the way from time to time. Showing people how things need to be done wherever you may be has been significantly challenging. And what that means from an educational perspective, and what that means for a very junior level job perspective, is that it's just easier to take that job in a different direction, right? So that's some of the barriers that have been placed on hiring international students, on hiring people across different borders. Today, we have an opportunity to make content more relevant, to make things easy, and to make them fun. If you make this easy and you make it fun, hiring on a global basis, on a contract level, is a tremendous opportunity for all organizations. Opening organizations' eyes to how easy this can be really is a tremendous hiring opportunity for everybody. And it is relatively easy to do. Okay, and the last part is, has anyone in this room ever done a live stream? Okay, has anyone ever participated in a live stream? On a scale, for those of you who have done this, who thinks it's fun? It is fun. And live streaming and all of the international marketing initiatives that we can do to broaden our brands and to broaden our distribution and develop awareness can be fun. People tend to do things that are fun. If we use all of these new technologies and we combine them with the ability to create better content, and we make it easy and we make it fun, there is a tremendous opportunity for international expansion, and there is a tremendous opportunity for cross-cultural exchange. The barrier historically has been that we don't do these things, and so it feels hard, it feels complicated, it feels difficult, and and as a result, people avoid doing it. If we combine these three things together, we can accomplish more of this. Okay, nope, not the next slide. So that, I wasn't exactly sure how much time I would have, so I've left some room for questions. Do we want to take any questions? Does anybody have a question? Someone throw me one question just to make it fun. All right. I will use Loom as a teaching tool. So the question was, it's okay.
If you use Loom as a teaching tool.
So I do use Loom as a teaching tool because during the pandemic, I encountered a significant issue with, I've encountered a couple of different issues. I've encountered issues with AI. And in an issue with AI where I feel like as an instructor, AI is doing the work, I wouldn't mind you showing me yourself doing the work. So I use it to validate that our students are doing the work themselves sometimes. And if I do have a student who really doesn't understand something, I will ask them to show me how they're doing it. They'll send me a Loom of it. I'll send them a Loom of how I do it, and then we'll discuss the different ways. I use that in terms of my work as an instructor at school. I also use it for junior employees. If we have a complicated analysis to do for a client, and I feel like our student, like my junior person is not necessarily understanding it yet, I will develop a Loom of myself doing a quarter of the work. They then have to watch that Loom, often at 2 times speed, by the way. Learn how to do it, do their quarter of the work, and then they can show it to me if they're still having problems. That tends to eliminate the problems. That particular behavior will avoid 3 hours of meetings and will save probably about 72 hours of time. I have no vested interest in Loom, but I do think Loom is great. Thank you. Oh, okay. See, this is what happens. The first one's hard to get, but then it opens up. Go ahead.
Particularly, we come from the same place.
Oh.
Yeah. So my question to you is: are you still doing hybrid teaching, or students allowed to study online, like asynchronous?
So at the business school, as an instructor, you are allowed to do asynchronous. You're allowed to do asynchronous, but I have mandated that all of the students come to class, because I find that many of them on Zoom, in my last class in the summer, I had 61 students. A third of those students were from China, which was great, and they did a great job. But I do find that when I teach on Zoom, where you know, if there's 61 students, I will only see 10 of them. They'll have their cameras on. The rest of them are not necessarily there. And then we get into a real problem before the exam because everyone figures out they should have been in all the classes. So I do mandate that they be in all the classes, and you know, at midterm time, none of them necessarily happy that they were in all the classes, but after the final exam, we all agree it was the right thing to do.